Welcome to my study today. We're going to look at four words: under, below, beneath and underneath. Sometimes they can be prepositions, sometimes they can be adverb particles. But how do we know? Well, you can only really tell by looking at the sentence and the job that the word is doing in the sentence. All four words are very similar, so it's actually important that you get them in the right places. There is an exercise for you to practice which follows. So, let's begin. Let's look at under as a preposition of place. We can see a table, and under the table there's a ball and a cube. So I could say, I can see a ball and a cube under the table. But in actual fact, the cube is under the ball, so again we can use under. There is a cube under the ball. But what if I wanted to be precise about the location? You notice that the ball and the cube are touching, so I can use one of our other words. If I want to know the exact position, and I say where exactly is the cube, I can say it is underneath the ball. When we give descriptions of people, we are usually fairly precise, like this. Underneath his white coat, the doctor is wearing a blue shirt. But you could argue now that the preposition has changed to an adverb particle. It doesn't really matter what we call it, it's just a matter of trying to get the words in the right place. Underneath fits very well here, and I'll make another video on descriptions of people later because there are other prepositions that go very closely with describing people. Looking back at the table, I could use an adverb of position to describe what I can see. Beneath the table there is a ball and a cube. Now this is very general in terms. Look at this example. Beneath the castle there is a prison. Yes, I could say under the castle. I wouldn't really say underneath the castle because it just wouldn't sound right, and that's not very helpful, but that's the best I can say to give you a definition of this word. In this particular place, beneath is the right word to use. Beneath the castle there is a prison. But what about below or under? Let's look at this picture. There's a house and there's a mountain. Now would I say the house is under the mountain or the house is below the mountain? Well, there is a small house below the mountain because below really means at different heights. You can see the mountain is higher than the house and the house is lower than the mountain. Look at this example to see the difference between below and under. The house was buried under the avalanche. Now you can see why I can't use under in the first picture, because it means the avalanche has covered the house. So a better choice is under. The house was buried under the avalanche. Here's a block of flats. Mr. Brown, Miss Clark and Dr. Smith all live there, and in the basement there's a gym. So what could we say about this block of flats? Mr. Brown lives on the top floor. Dr. Smith lives below Mr. Brown on the fourth floor. In other words, at a different height to Mr. Brown. Miss Clark lives underneath Mr. Brown on the fifth floor. Obviously the fifth and the sixth floors are touching, so therefore we can use underneath. The basement, underneath, beneath the building, has a gymnasium. And it's one of those situations where both words would be perfectly okay. Because our four words are so useful, we use them a lot in an abstract way in English. Look at this example. Clarence considered it beneath him to serve anyone but the king. And here's the king saying, "Where's my dinner?" When you say it is beneath somebody, it means it's below their social status or below their dignity to do something. It's an abstract use of the word beneath. In a hierarchy, we use the word below to show the difference in status. The army is a very good example. A sergeant ranks below a general. Below is also very useful in mathematics and science. It was 5 degrees below zero last night. And here's an example of under being used in an idiomatic way. The road is under repair. Remember, in an idiom, the words do not exactly mean their face value. So another way of saying this would be the road is being repaired. Now, I've just given you a flavour of these abstract uses because I would like you to look for yourself to see how many you can find. When you really start to look for them, you will see there are a lot in English. Perhaps you could put an example below. Thanks. Here are some sentences with spaces for you to practice. Choose a word from the box. The answers follow. Next time we should have a look at the prepositions in and on. 2 small words, but very important in English. So, thanks for watching. Please subscribe below and hit that bell, and I'll see you next time. Bye!